Welcome back, Wayward Traveler, to another episode of Wayward Traveler. So I would like to thank everybody who has subscribed to me and watched my videos for helping me hit 400 subscribers in 1 month. So I've been doing this for about 1 month, showing you exciting videos of the party life in Makati, to Angeles City, to what province life is like, and the aspect of just being married to a Filipina, or in your case, maybe having a girlfriend that's a Filipino. And just like most foreigners, I did that long distance relationship when I first met my wife, traveling to the Philippines as often as I could to visit her, to see her. But after a while, even she got tired of that and she wanted something more. And so that's when we evolved into more of a relationship and tracks of getting a K1 visa and getting married. So I'd like to thank you for helping me get 400 subscribers. So keep watching, keep liking, and help me to get to 1,000. I hope to bring you more exciting videos coming up. Last videos I've been doing just showing mostly province life. Because honestly, if you get married to a Filipino or have a Filipino girlfriend, like I said before, you may not have that AC life like you see all these other YouTubers living in Angeles City, near the bars, near the clubs and stuff like that. If you go to province and your wife wants you to live in province life, oh my god, it's not going to be Makati, it's not going to be Manila, it's not going to be AC, it's going to be a lot harder, a lot rougher. Hell, look at me right now. I'm sitting here in a sorry store working a convenience store, something I would never done in my adult life as a worker. So anyway, you know, just I feel like showing you the actual reality of province life is very informative for y'all, in case you marry a Filipino. You may have to live in a worse house than the house I have here. You may live in like a little shack that they want you to do until you can afford to build a house or provide her a house or rent a house, whatever it's going to be. And the thing is, like I say, you're with a Filipina, most likely you're not only marrying that Filipino or dating that Filipino, you're also dating and marrying their family. And you know, Filipinos, they probably have families of 5 or 6 brothers or multitudes of anything, kind of like my grandmother's parents who had 11 kids. So, you know, having babies is a thing. I always said, well, when you're poor and you're sitting around and you ain't got nothing to do, you're like, no TV, no radio, want to have sex? Yeah, sure, let's have sex. And bam, baby. Anyway, so thank you again for helping me get 400 channels. I hope you enjoyed the videos of province life, from my water video to showing you how water is really important here, like super important, to going out to clubs here in province and what they are like, and karaoke's. And that's why if you're shooting a YouTube video, and if you're going to a karaoke bar, expect a copyright claim, because it's stupid. Why are you getting a copyright claim? You're in a karaoke bar and you're filming it. So YouTube's saying that YouTube used to be about just your personal life when it first came out, and not so much monetizing and stuff like that before Google bought it. And it was about just showing people your life, and they didn't really care about copyright claims because, well, shit, there's music in the world. Nobody gets permission to play music. You think clubs around the world say, hey, Justin Bieber, we're a club, can we get permission to play your music here? No, because when they play their music, it promotes the music. When they promote the music, it allows them to make more money, make people get interested, make people learn about them and stuff. So I don't know why we can't play music on ours, because even though it's not the direct aspect of our content, it's just a background thing, but it does help promote their music. It helps people learn about the music, especially we're in the Philippines and we're playing these music and let people learn about who these people are. So I don't know, I always just thought that was stupid. Anyway, like I said, this has been 1 month doing this channel. I quite enjoy it. I'm running my little sorry story here. My wife and their family just sit back there not learning the business of how to run a sorry store correctly. But before this, I had another YouTube channel called, well, I still have it. I just haven't been able to shoot any content here because it's a channel called Prospector 1848. There you go, right there. If you want to subscribe to it, I'd be very appreciative. If you want to learn more about coin collecting, stacking gold and silver coins, or just bullion in its whole, go ahead and check out that channel. There's some cool, interesting videos of different bullion from the United States, Canada, and other places. So if you want to check that channel out, go ahead and check it out. So my channel goals, one of my channel goals for this is to teach you more about how you will be married to a Filipino and the different lifestyles that comes with it and stuff. So and I'm also still going to promote, that's my wife, I'm going to still promote the aspect of, you know, things that y'all like, you know, especially the ones that's never been to the Philippines. You want to know what the nightlife looks like, what the girls look like, whatever your preference is. So in about 2 weeks, I think, I'm not definite yet, but in about 2 weeks or so, I will be traveling to Angeles City, and I hope you bring you some exclusive there. I wanted to. Sometimes I want, when you see these other YouTube channels, you want to meet the other YouTubers that are Angeles City, but I'm not really a people person that much and stuff. After the military, you know, I just really don't like interacting with people and stuff at all. And this is why I like doing YouTube, because I don't really interact with people. I'm like a fly on the wall. I just sit there and shoot. So I'm going to do the Angeles thing. I would like to meet some of the YouTubers down there, but the thing is, I'm not really people. I think the only person I would like to meet is, if you don't know, Marcos. He has a channel called Overstay Road. Here you go. There's an image of it right there. Check out his channel. He's more or less like a lone wolf too. Just shooting and living his life with his family in Angeles City. So, yeah. So, if you want to learn about gold and silver, check out my other channel, Prospect 1848. So, my goal is to hopefully bring you some good content of the Philippines. And once I actually move to the Philippines, I'm going to bring you the world. I'm going to start traveling again. COVID really stopped that part, traveling. I like to take y'all to places like Thailand. I've been to Thailand. Thailand is amazing, from Phuket. The island's called Phuket. The city's called Patong. So that's really nice. Bengal Road, I think it's called, Bengal Road. And then maybe taking you to places like Bangkok, Pattaya, Chiang Mai in Thailand. I've been to all those. I've traveled to China at least 8 times, I think. So that'll be interesting to show you. There may be trips to Cambodia or Vietnam. South Korea, definitely, because I know a lot of people there. I got good friends there. So South Korea is interesting. And yeah, they have a great nightlife too. It can be a little dangerous. Have you seen recently, I think this last Halloween, they were doing a Halloween party in Itaewon, and it was so overcrowded that people literally got stomped to death. And so it's very tragic and stuff. I never saw it that crowded, but I guess this last year after COVID, people just wanted to get out and relax. And Halloween's a great holiday to do that, and you get to dress up in costumes and be somebody that you don't want to be for a night. So yeah, so South Korea is really good. I like South Korea a lot. The people there are nice and considerate, but like, you know, there's going to be some bad people too, of course, in all countries. The women are, women in South Korea are beautiful. They take a lot of care in their appearance, many of them. The way they dress, the creams they use to make their skin so glowy. Korean women love highlighting their legs, even though they're not tall, but man, when they put those shorts on or skirts on, their legs look like they're going on forever. I've also been in Indonesia. I went there only once, but it's kind of interesting. The nightlife there, I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was the best I've ever seen. So yeah, so I like to promote more Southeast Asia content, especially if you're into Asian women. Japan is always amazing to go to, but be careful with Japan though. They have these like little bars where they'll have a sign that says the beer is this much, and you take your little calculator out to do the conversion rate, like, oh my god, that beer's cheap. Next thing you know, you get roped in, and you're sitting there drinking, thinking your beer's this, but then some girly little Japanese cutie comes by and says, oh, arigato. And she's like, oh, you American? Can I sit here? And you start buying her drinks, and next thing you know, that bill, oh, them yens just went up. So that'll be an interesting one to show you. I think that was, where was I when I did that? Osaka, Japan. I had to go over there and do a visa renewal for South Korea. And so, okay, so a little bit about my life. Who am I? What am I? Okay, my name is Lawrence. That's my first name, but my wife now calls me Baboy. I didn't even know what the hell Baboy used to be until one day I'm in Angeles City with my wife, and she kept saying Baboy, and I just thought it was a cute nickname until some little boy comes up on the street and says, "Excuse me, sir, why she call you Baboy?" I'm like, "I don't know, it's a nickname." He's like, "You know, Baboy means fat pig or pig." I'm like, "What?" So ever since then, that's more or less been my nickname, Baboy. I guess I am kind of fat, so whatever. No, name callings has never bothered me anymore. Not since elementary, middle school. I learned after a while in life that, you know, if somebody calls you a name, just ignore it. Now they're going to be a little bitch about it and stuff. You know, my grandfather once said the best thing to do when somebody talks too much smack at you, punch them. You know, I'm not promoting violence, but honestly, if you just gonna keep harassing people, you shouldn't keep harassing people you don't know, because they might actually enjoy fighting and may actually want to hit you. So my grandfather never taught us more or less how to, you know, never back down to people and stuff. And, you know, he's old school. He was born in the 30s, fought in the Korean War, so yeah. So I have that mentality. So, I don't like starting fights. I won't start fights. But if you're gonna take that first swing, I'm gonna try to make sure I take that last swing. So a little bit about me. Where was I? I was raised. My dad was in the Navy. Spent his entire life there. I think he did 23 years in the Navy. I remember one carrier he served. He served on the John F. Kennedy. I remember that because we used to have a hat that said the John F. Kennedy. My dad got divorced from my mom at an early age when we were like 4 or 5, and so we got to live with my grandparents who lived in Oklahoma City. So we lived with them most of our life to about middle school or so. But I enjoyed living with my grandparents. They gave us a down-to-earth perspective because, you know, they weren't rich, they were poor. So I remember my grandma when she first got a Visa card, and we were all happy. This was way back before Visa was sponsored, like banks, Visa-sponsored banks. This is when a Visa card was a Visa card. Like, it actually had the word Visa, and her MasterCard had MasterCard. And there was no bank connected. It was just her plain, like, credit place. Kind of like how American Express is still today. So, I was raised with my grandparents. I have 2 brothers, 2 sisters. My brother's kind of like me. He traveled. He's lived in South Korea. He's lived in China. My little brother and my sisters, 2 sisters, they're more or less American bound. My sister's took a few cruises. My little brother's taken cruises. He's been to England and he's been to Spain. My sisters, I think they've just been on cruises. I don't think they've ever traveled like on a plane to another country. So that's a little bit about my family there, growing up in Oklahoma, military brat. And of course, when I got older, I wanted to go to university. But then I found out, oh my God, we're poor, so I can't go to university. Yeah, some children back there. There's always children around here. It's like a kindergarten or something. Always children hanging around here. So I wanted to go to school, but I couldn't afford it. I was thinking about Rose State College in Oklahoma, but you know, I wanted to do something else. So in the end, I joined the Army. The reason I didn't join the Navy because I can't swim, and I was thinking, oh shit, I don't want to join the Navy. I can't swim. So I joined the Army. My grandfather was in the Army, so I went ahead and joined that. My grandfather was really proud that I joined the Army. So I did several years there, and after the Army, I got my money for school, and I went to school in Florida. Got my degree in digital media production, which you think, oh, digital media production, you should have amazing YouTube videos. But no, I try to make it in Hollywood. Hold on for a minute. Sorry about that. Had to tell the children, quiet down. I'm trying to shoot a YouTube video here. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I went to school for digital media production. I tried to get a few jobs. Man, it's hard. I'm gonna say film industry is the worst industry to get into sometimes, because you have a bachelor's degree, you spend all this money on a bachelor's degree, and you're ready to go out there. I drove from New York City, from Florida to New York City to visit my friend Jenny. Then from there, I drove to New York City, all the way to California with my brother. We both have our digital media production degree, and we were going to go make it in Hollywood, become writers, be video editors or something like that. You know, we were trained on before editing was as easy as it today, because here you just have apps and you can do editing. Back in the day, there were no apps. There were still smartphones. Well, first smartphone, I think it was iPhone 1 or iPhone 2. But, you know, they didn't really have the editing apps. You still had to do, we learned the aspect of editing tape to tape for like news programs and stuff like that. So learning Final Cut Pro when it first came out, Premiere, what was the other one? Media 100, Avid editing systems. Learning to use Pro Tools and all these other things and stuff. So we went to Hollywood. We went to California. Now we didn't go to Hollywood because that shit's expensive. So we went to live with my mother for a while in Oxnard, California. And we went to Oxnard, California. We did get a few. We applied to a lot of jobs, but everybody wants you to work as an intern. Now think about this. 4 years of college, bachelor's degree, tons of money costs for the shit. You gotta pay those loans back after a year, after leaving school. And every single person, this is what I hate about the movie industry. They're like, oh, you can work as an intern, and we want you to do all this, and we want you to be qualified like this, and this, and this. Which is great, but then they go, you're doing it for experience. We're giving you no money. It's like, what the hell? So y'all make millions of dollars, billions of dollars now, in intern. You can't even pay a fucking intern, really? You can't pay a minimum wage? What? Brad Pitt need that $20 million for his picture? So I always hated that. That's the thing. So we did get one job as an intern. We worked on this movie as like lighters and grips personnel. They list us as production assistant, but we were not production assistants. We were grips, and we were doing the lighting. So it was called, what was it called? The Butcher House. I'm gonna show a little picture of that right there. The Butcher House. Worst, really bad horror film. Not that great. The story, the plot was like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. But you know, it was an experience. Tough. But you know, we were struggling for about 2 years, couldn't make it. So after that, we decided, what? Our friends Heather and Skylar found these things about teaching as English teachers in South Korea, and all you needed was a bachelor's degree. What? I have a bachelor's degree, and they provide free apartment. So me and my brother decided to go with them. We went to go fly to South Korea. Got a job there. I worked in this school called BIS. It was called Bundong International School. It was in the south of Seoul, in a town called Bundong. So that was pretty good. Then I taught there for a while. Then they changed their whole rules about where you needed a background check, like an FBI background check. Before you didn't need an FBI background check, just needed a regular background check from the police. But they wanted an FBI background check. They wanted it stamped, apostilled, and all this other stuff. So we had to go all the way back to America to stay another year. But then we didn't want to stay with that school, so we decided to get a different school. My brother got one with Herald School, which was, I think, in where was that located at? Well, it was in Seoul, but I forgot where at. Oh man, I worked there, so I don't know. Well, it was called Herald School. My brother got a job there. I got a job called GKI School to work as a teacher there. So I went there, and that was in, what was that? That was in a place called Omokyo. So this is our second job, second school that we started teaching at, and we liked it so much. And plus the aspect of, you get a free apartment, you get a decent salary. I think by the end I was making almost about $3,000 a month. Only thing you really had to pay for was your cell phone bill and your internet, and that's it. well, of course, food, but you know. Then you just literally almost, it was like a party. It was like college. Almost every Saturday and Sunday you would go out with friends to Itaewon or Hongdae and just drink and party on the weekends. And next thing you know, you come back and go to work Monday through Friday. So you literally just work Monday through Friday. So once in a while you had to work a Saturday to do like a school trip. But South Korea was beautiful. We had an amazing culture, amazing barbecue. I really got into K-pop songs and movies and K-movies. So that was enjoyable. Beautiful women, beautiful women. I'm gonna say right now though, some of the women there, just like in the military, when I was in the military, I was stationed in South Korea at Suwon Rock Air Base. I was attached to the, what was it, 6th Cavalry ADA unit, but then halfway through my time there, we switched over to 8th Army, I think it was. Yeah, 8th Army, the one that has the like kind of like umbrella patch. Kind of reminds you of Resident Evil's umbrella patch. So, yeah, but the women there are very attractive. But the foreign women there, we always said, like, just like in the military, man, y'all come here and y'all like queens for a year, because if you're a person's not into Asian girls and stuff, but they see these foreign girls, they think, oh my god, they're so attractive. Yeah. So anyway, that was just guys' mentality. So that was my life in Korea. Then from my life in Korea, I started traveling to places like Thailand and many other countries. Then finally one year, I think 5 years in Korea, I decided finally to travel to the Philippines. My brother traveled there first. He said he liked it. And then around 2015, I met my wife. Well, met her. So she wasn't my wife at the time, but no, met her, and we started kind of dating. And from there, you know, we just kept doing a long-term relationship. And then about 2018, she didn't really want to do the long distance relationship, so I decided to take the next step and, you know, go ahead and ask her to marry me. And you know, we were going to go get her a K-1 visa, come to America. She can earn a little bit of money here, help support her family. As soon as I went back, so I stood 100 days vacation here before I went back to America to start doing the K-1 visa. And, you know, I took her to different places. Before I left, I took her to like Boracay, Cebu, Palawan. And I even surprised her with a trip to Thailand. And we went to Pattaya. Or Pattaya, or however you want to pronounce it. I say Pattaya. Some people say it's Pattaya. I don't know which one's right. But anyway, we went there and we came back to Manila. She had her. She wanted to go start an apartment or job in a place called Laguna, which was south of Manila. She wanted to get a job there, like in a factory, while she waited for me to do the K-1 visa. January 18th, I flew back to America, started situating myself there. Less than a few weeks later, my wife, my fiance at the time, calls me and saying, "Oh boy, I'm pregnant." Guess that's the magic of Thailand, because that's probably where my daughter was conceived, while in Thailand. Anyway, pregnant. Oh my god, now that makes it even harder. If you're doing, I'm going to do a video later about K-1 visa when I get back to America. But boy, when you go to and she said she was pregnant, I was like, oh, okay. But then when you look at it to do the K-1 visa, that makes it even more complicated. Because first of all, you're just fiance, she's pregnant, you're not married. So that makes it even harder through going through the U.S. Embassy, because they assume, oh, this is a fake thing because they're not married and they have a kid. We don't even know that's his kid. And I'm going to just give this little clue right now. If you're doing a child born abroad certificate and you're not married, but you want your daughter or son to have a U.S. citizenship, maybe to the aspect of applying for the K-1 visa. Now, in their thing, they say DNA test is not required, but may be asked. If you're not married, get that DNA test before you go there and do the paperwork. Because if you go there and try to get the child born abroad certificate and her passport or his passport, American passport, they're like, see, y'all not married? We're gonna need a DNA test. And man, I mean, I had to fly all the way back to America and get the DNA testing here. I forget who it was through, but it's expensive. I think it was like $600-700. Oh my God, that's where the U.S. government gets you, man. Fees. Shit, isn't that what we pay taxes for? So we don't have to pay all these damn fees. Well, I'm gonna pay you, well, like $600 for DNA test, and then I think it was like $100 some for processing at the U.S. Embassy. And you think to yourself, why am I paying you $100 to do your own fucking job? My taxes pay your check, therefore you should do your job. Processing is one part of your job aspect, so you should do it for free. I shouldn't have to pay you anything. But anyway, we'll save that for another video. So then I brought my daughter back. We did this whole K-1 visa. I'll go through that whole step later because that's a headache in one. U.S. Embassy, Filipino government acts like they don't want their own citizens to leave the country. Oh my God, so much that. But anyway, then when I finally got my wife and daughter, almost the paperwork finished. It's like February. Well, it's December. I was getting ready to, December 1st, and I was getting ready to fly in February with my brother-in-law for 1 month in the Philippines to finalize my wife's paperwork and to get her her K-1 visa. December 2019, by the time February came around, what hit? COVID-19. Oh my God. Now, going there in December, COVID was kind of new, so nobody was really taking it super serious. So we did it. It was easy for us to get in the Philippines because there were very few cases here. But by the time I needed to come back in September or in July to fly my wife and daughter back with me, COVID was at high alert at that time. And airports were changing their things about who could enter, who could exit, who could enter, who can exit. And I was able to get into South Korea, and I stood one night there at the airport. Then on my flight, Asia said that, oh, you must, in order to fly to the Philippines, you must have a reason because like family there. So I showed them, I was like, my daughter lives there. I'm getting ready to bring them to America, my daughter and my fiance. So AirAsia said, okay, that's good. And so I flew there, and as soon as I got to the Philippines, they told me, I did the whole COVID thing, nose thing, and then they said, oh, you can't come here because you're not married, you know, I had proof that my daughter was my daughter, and they're like, oh, no, you can't. So they deported my ass. And I'm saying that stays on your record at the Philippines. Because I had issue with that when I came back here this time. They saw that little flag come up, deported. But, you know, then they realized I was deported not because of something bad I did, it's because they were changing the rules of COVID-19 100 damn times, so nobody knew what was the requirements to enter a country. So finally I had to fly back to South Korea, got deported. I didn't want to fly all the way back to America. I wanted my wife to fly with me to America. And I literally spent a month in the Korean airport. But they were very nice. So that's what I like about Koreans. They're very nice and polite and friendly. I spent a month there. I was like Tom Hanks in the movie The Terminal. Just walking back and forth. 7-Eleven, there Starbucks, getting stuff. The South Korean airport's got these like little sleep lounges with these like little beds you can sleep with the little partitions between so you don't see other people. So that's amazing. Air conditioned, you know, right? So I did that, and from there I stood there for a month, and then Korea started changing their rules and stuff about me flying out. Oh my God, that was hectic. So they changed the rule that my wife needed a DNA or not the COVID test 24 hours before flying, which we did. We rushed that. But then we found out my daughter couldn't leave the country because even though she had an American passport, but because that American passport wasn't stamped when she got, she needed to do all this other paperwork. So finally we did all that paperwork. But then finally, it was just too impossible to get her to Korea. I called the Japanese embassy and said, hey, can my wife fly to Japan, just going through transit, not leaving the airport, just catch and connect the flight to America? And they said, yes, she doesn't need a COVID test. So we did that way. I flew back to America. And then my wife was going to fly from Manila to Japan with my daughter, Japan to Chicago, then from Chicago to Atlanta. But I didn't want my wife to have this, like, she had like an 8-hour layover in Chicago. So me and my brother drove all the way up from Atlanta to Chicago, and I changed her plane ticket so she would just be exited there, and that's where she would enter thing. It was super easy though. She gave her paperwork to him, the U.S. Embassy. Hey, go. So pretty easy. My wife was really worried about that. So that's how we got it. And later we had 90 days to get married when she came into the plane, kind of like that TV show 90 Days. I told my wife we should have entered ourselves into that TV show 90 Days. Would that not be great television? Me stuck in the airport for 30 days? Oh my goodness. Trying to get your fiance here in 90 days visa? Oh my god. But anyway, I guess that would be the before the 90 days, not the actual show 90 days. But we could have did 90 days too. So we got married really fast, just so we can get the thing, because you know it's COVID. Everything was, courthouses were closed, everything else was closed. So we got married as fast as we could, easy as possible as we could. And so was married in September of 2020. And then we lived in America for we're doing our life in America. We had to wait for her to get her work authorization card. Then finally she got her green card, and now, you know, she's on her 2-year green card. You say, well, I don't get that bullshit either. So the first green card, they only give you for 2 years. Then after that, you got to reapply for the 10-year one. And then after that, you can try to get your American citizenship. But that's another thing I don't get. Just because somebody comes over to live with me as my wife, and she wants to work there, so like, doesn't mean she wants to become an American citizen. Well, that's what I never get about America. Why would you force them to try to become an American citizen if they want? Can't they just live there under a green card? Hey, I'm married. So I think that's why, like, back in the past, it was like, hey, this is my wife. And they're like, all right, I'm on it. So, yeah. So that's when we got married. So now we're here trying to wrap up all this family business about fixing the house. We started the house before COVID, but then we stopped it when COVID hit, and you know, title money, everything, inflation hit. So we're just trying to earn that dollar. But we're resituated. We're pretty good now. But I think our end goal is, I don't know what our end goal is. I think she wants to live in the Philippines, but she also wants to stay in America and earn more money, because you know you earn a lot more money in America than here, to help her family. But any which way, I hope to bring you more videos. Hopefully this wasn't too much of a ramble. I seem to get talkative. If you ever seen my other past video, when I get drunk, I get super talkative. Anyway, once again, I'd like to thank you for helping me get 400 subscribers. I hope this has been a little bit informative what my life is and stuff, who I am. And I hope to see you more on this channel, Wayward Traveler. Once again, thank you for watching. Travel on, travelers.